The Gaza ceasefire appears increasingly fragile this Tuesday after President Donald Trump said all hell will break out if Hamas does not free Israeli hostages by this Saturday. His threat follows a decision by the Palestinian militant group to pause the release of hostages, accusing Israel of violating the truce deal. The 2 million plus population of Gaza fear the collapse of the agreement and the resumption of Israeli airstrikes. Well, there is fear as well among the families of Israeli hostages. They've been protesting today outside the offices of Netanyahu and in the heart of Tel Aviv. Well, let's cross now to Jerusalem on the programme and speak to Noga Tarapolsky, our correspondent. And Noga, look, the Israeli cabinet has been meeting today to discuss what's happening in Gaza, what Donald Trump had to say, and where they are with the ceasefire deal. What came out of the cabinet?
Right. Well, the cabinet meeting just concluded, and we have not gotten any official statements. We're awaiting a statement from the Prime Minister. But under the guise of a senior government official, the Prime Minister's office did release a statement that is quite dramatic. And what it says is that Israel is adopting President Trump's demand regarding the hostage release for Saturday and, quote, his revolutionary vision for the future in Gaza. While Donald Trump can permit himself maybe these kind of colorful statements, for the state of Israel to say it's adopting this is extremely dangerous, because calling on Hamas to release all of the hostages by Saturday or else is a clear and total violation of the terms of the agreement that already exists. It's in fact saying we're tearing up the ceasefire, we want something else out of you. Release all our hostages or else. And so to say that the ceasefire right now is in danger is really almost an understatement, I would say.
So look, what do you think happens over the next few days, Noga? As you say, that is not an official statement from the cabinet, but nonetheless, the language is very significant indeed.
Right. We're waiting to hear what the Prime Minister is expected to release a pre-taped statement at some point in the next hour. We'll wait to see what he says. In addition, over in Washington, President Trump is going to be meeting Jordanian King Abdallah, also just in the next few hours. Jordan and Egypt are the two countries that Donald Trump is trying to threaten to accept Gazans who he proposes to entice to leave the territory completely, leaving Gaza empty for possibly a future as a Riviera, he said, which would be owned by him. The entire notion seems quite far-fetched, but the threat to both Egypt and Jordan, if the United States follows through and abandons them diplomatically and economically, if they refuse to take Gazan refugees, which is what they say, they're not accepting his plan at all, the consequences of this could be vast. Among other things, the Egyptian government today already has said that if Donald Trump follows through, this would obviate the Camp David Accords. These are the first accords ever between the State of Israel and any Arab country. These were mediated by the Jimmy Carter administration. And these are accords that have saved thousands and thousands of lives in what used to be one of the most violent borders between Israel and the Arab world, and became a completely peaceful border, which has lasted. So we really are in unknown territory right now. And I think we have to wait to see what Trump says, what Abdallah says, what Netanyahu says, and then Donald Trump is scheduled to meet Egyptian President Sisi later this week.
Yeah, Noga, of course, we will be keeping a close eye on any statements coming out of the Israeli government and the White House in the coming hours. In the meantime, though, give us an update as to what is happening at the moment in the occupied West Bank, where it does seem, once again, violence is on the rise.
It very much is, and the United Nations issued a report today saying that 40,000 Palestinians are already displaced in the West Bank. I have asked the Israeli army about this numerous times. I've never gotten a clear answer. The army seems to say that, yes, these many, many thousands of people left of their own volition, not pushed or ordered to by the army. But we see the military operations in the West Bank expanding. As we've seen in weeks before, incidentally, the violence of Jewish settlers against Palestinian civilians expanding. I should add, there might be a link. I'm hearing small hints that Donald Trump may be willing to kind of give the Israeli government a green light to annex parts of the West Bank. At least that's what we're hearing here in Jerusalem. And that could help Benjamin Netanyahu hold his fragile coalition together if, in fact, the Gaza ceasefire does hold and the Israeli armies must withdraw from the entire enclave. But right now, we are kind of hypothesizing about how each of these conflicts is going to develop.
Noga Tanopolsky for the moment in Jerusalem. Thanks a lot.